WBCN, the band is Limb Lifter. I'm very fond of that song, and I think it'll be a huge hit here in the beginning of 96. They're from Calgary. Their CD hits the stores Tuesday, and that's Screwed It Up. Limb Lifter. Noise Addict, who were in town this past week. The song 16. BCN, a new one out of the blue from the Wedding Present. The CD is entitled Mini, and it was only 6 songs overseas, but what they did here in the States, it's on a little label called Cooking Vinyl. They put the 6 songs on the Mini CD EP from overseas and added 3 songs from a 7-inch that also came out. Wedding Present, a song called Convertible. Before that, 16 by Noise Addict, played over at the Middle East this past Tuesday. Ben from England, this is a band known as Slipstream.
It's not this record.
Voters know the difference between a sound bite and sound policy.
It's not that record.
It's not a record at all.
It's Nocturnal Emissions.
WBCN Boston.
You can hear that song in the movie Seven. The band's called Gravity Kills. They're out of St. Louis. This is WBCN. In the 60s, it debuted at number 1. It knocked out George Michael, who was sitting there at number 1. The song's called Spaceman, and it's also number 1 in Europe. What they don't tell you, though, is one of the reasons this song was so popular, because it appeared in an advertisement, and it's now been translated to a single. Here it is, Babylon Zoo doing Spaceman. Oh, those wacky British. Babylon Zoo, the name of the band. Yes, number 1. Number 1 in the UK. Number 1 across Europe as well. Babylon Zoo doing Spaceman. Now, this single also was a top charter. Yes, it was. The Mike Flowers Pops. You'll recognize the song. That's a CD complete with scratches, and the joke wears thin very quickly. But you had to hear it. After all, you do listen to Nocturnal Emissions. Mike Flowers Pops and his version of Wonderwall. Lounge music making a comeback, to an extent. Now, here's a British band that does have great potential. They're from Sheffield. They're called Pulp. And the song Common People. This is WBCN, Nocturnal Emissions.
She came from Greece, she had a thirst for love.
Nocturnal Emissions, starting things off this evening, taking a look at some of the new British bands coming from across the pond. This band here is called Marion, spelled M-A-R-I-O-N. They're from Manchester way. And Marion, this song's called Sleep. Nocturnal Emissions, WBCN.
Moments like this that restore my faith in God.
What's happening?
WBCN.
Some of the scenes you will witness may appear to border on fantasy.
Nocturnal Emissions, where you hear the future. WBCN, new from Lush, from their forthcoming album called Love Life. Lush Love Life, and that's Lady Killers from Lush. And we heard Marion just prior to that doing the song Sleep. All. And the first single from the album is Sweet Lover Hangover. Nocturnal Emissions, WBCN. New from Dubstar. Just an import. Still hasn't been released here in the States. Their album Dubstar of Not So Manic Now and Love and Rockets prior to...
It's truly a real honorable experience to be here this evening.
Nocturnal emission.
This is a highly irregular procedure.
WBCN Boston.
From the West Coast, Sparkle Horse, WBCN, and Someday I Will Treat You Good, plus new Afghan wigs from the album Black Love, Honky's Ladder, here on Nocturnal Emissions, which is brought to you by the Alston Beat. This Tuesday night, Alston Beat and Doc Martens present The Pit Report, Endangered. Well, if Babylon Zoo is number one, what's number two? This band is number two. They're called the hottest new British band. You've heard of Oasis, you've heard of Blur, you know them well, you heard them Saturday night. Well, this is the brand new quartet out of England. They're called the Blue Tones at WBCN.
Where did you go when things went wrong for you? When the nights came out for you?
The Blue Tones, WBCN. They saw Stone Roses on the telly one evening, and that was it. They said, we're forming a band, and they did, and they're now number two on the British charts. WBCN, let's stay with the British theme for just a few moments. This band here, their name is The Cast. The lead singer, John Power, used to be the bassist in the band The Laws. They're gold in the UK. 3 top 10 singles. The band The Cast.
I guess I'm all right. Guess I'm all
simply known as Cast. Cast without the, just Cast. Song called All Right. No F. Facts.
In Newton. And the band's called Savoy, or Savoy, and this is from their debut, a song entitled Velvet. At 104 FM, WBCN Boston.